Hi, this is George Lovato Jr., and this is If Your Car Could Talk with Morley Fletcher, president of Santa Fe Kia. Morley, how was your weekend?
My weekend, fantastic.
Groovy. Help me bring that word back, would you?
Yes.
Let's talk about tires today and a little maintenance. And I think people are confused when they look at the tire life or the estimated miles that you're supposed to get out of tires. They think that that's a guarantee. So let's start off talking a little bit about tires and what tire life is. How do you extend it? What is it?
Well,
how do we treat our tires?
You know, the funny thing is tire life is subjective.
Okay.
And by that I mean, depending on how you care for your tires, is going to make a huge difference as to how many miles you get out of your tires. People know I have the availability on my car to get 40,000 mile tires or 50,000 mile tires or 60 and even 80,000 mile tires. But none of that mileage that you can get out of your tires is going to be anywhere close to what the estimated mileage is unless you take care of your tires. So when we talk about caring for our tires,
people think it's a nuisance, you know.
Well, they do. It's kind of like everything else. Turn on the key, car starts, you just drive it around, and you don't have to worry about anything else. And
it'll tell us when it needs something. You know?
When it needs something, it just stops running. You got to put in gas or oil or something like that. You know, and the crazy thing is people forget about their tires, and there is maintenance that's necessary for the tires. And it's not a huge thing, but tire rotations, balancing your tires, making sure that the inflation is correct in your tires. It all makes sure that you can get the longest life out of your tires possible. When we talk about doing an oil change in your car, believe it or not, there are still some people that would like to do their own oil changes, but with an oil change, normally comes a tire rotation. Now, at Santa Fe Kia, when we do an oil change for somebody, we give them a tire rotation at no charge. It's just included in the service.
Why rotate?
Again, what is maintenance? Maintenance is doing something to ensure that you're going to get the longest life out of something you possibly can. So when we talk about rotating tires, we move the front to the back and the back to the front. And why? Because it then allows the tire to wear evenly.
Front wheel drive as opposed to rear wheel drive.
And we see cars come in all the time. People haven't done their tire rotation. The front tires are worn out, and the back tires still have great tread life on them. Well, then what? Then at that point, we're buying 2 tires rather than 4. Even if you buy the exact same brand, the tires are still not going to wear the same. So doing your tire rotations extremely important. Making sure that the inflation, they have enough air in them. Not too much air, but enough air. And one of the reasons that we want to make sure that is because, again, we want even wear on the tires. Now, if we put too much air in a tire, we overinflate the tire. Then that is going to balloon out the center of the tire, and it's going to cause it to be concaved on the edges, and now the tire's not going to wear evenly. If we don't have enough air in the tire, now it brings it back down, the edges stick out, and we get wear on just the edges and not the face of the tire.
Good point.
So having your tires inflated correctly, rotating them from front to back and back to front, never side to side. Always front to back and back to front. And doing that every 5,000 miles, checking the air pressure in the tires when you put gas in the car, it's going to give you the longevity you're looking for. And I think in our next segment, we'll talk about what the cost of tires are and all kinds of different mileage.
It's an expensive proposition to put 4 tires on a car.
It is not inexpensive. But there is nothing that's inexpensive anymore. You know, we start to age ourselves when we say, you know, when Frankfurters were a nickel. They don't have those anymore.
Not in this country, unfortunately, because I'm a hot dog fan. We're going to be right back. We're going to pay some bills here on If Your Car Could Talk. So come back and join us in a few minutes. Bye-bye.
Hi folks, Morley Fletcher here, owner of Santa Fe Kia. You know, at Santa Fe Kia, we like the byline of Santa Fe Kia is where we treat you different. Some reasons why. I'm remodeling our facility to make it better for our customers. Our salespeople treat people with respect and the way they'd like to come and purchase a vehicle. That's why at Santa Fe Kia, it's where we treat you different.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Hey, welcome back. This is If Your Car Could Talk. I'm George Lovato Jr. I'm here with Morley Fletcher, president of Santa Fe Kia, and we're talking tires today and maintenance. And what is the difference between a $90 tire and those really expensive $200 plus tires?
You know, the difference in tires, the cost factor of a tire goes hand in hand with the estimated mileage you'll get out of a tire. So you can buy inexpensive tires. And in this case, I don't like to use the term cheap, but it really is a cheap tire, meaning the tire is not built very well. It's not built in the most perfect circumstances to last a long time. It's usually something that someone were to buy if they, don't drive their car. Maybe they drive their car once every couple of months and don't put many miles on it. Maybe a cheaper tire would be a way to go because you don't drive it much and you're not looking to get that longevity out of it because you don't put a lot of miles on it.
You don't put a lot of miles on it annually, so yeah that would make some sense.
Now, most people, the average number of miles nationally, now that could vary by region and that could vary by city to city in a specific region, but the average number of miles that are considered normal nationally is 15,000 miles a year. So if you think about it, the difference between the cost of a tire from, $90, or you can get even cheaper tires than that at $70 or less a tire. But your mileage is going to be somewhere 20 to 25,000 miles on that tire is what that tire is rated to give you.
Gotcha.
Now, if you're driving 15,000 miles a year, well, obviously 15,000 miles in a year and a half, those tires are going to be worn out, providing you maintain those tires exactly like you needed to. Inflation is always correct. You've rotated the tires every 5,000 miles, and you've done your alignments and everything that can affect the wear on a tire, you've done perfectly. You're going to get a year and a half and you're going to be buying tires again. So what should we look for when it comes to buying a tire? Well, first and foremost, we should look to see what our average miles a year that we drive are. If it's 15,000 miles a year and you want to, in your head, amortize out how long you think you want to keep a set of tires, and a set of tires is going to keep working for you, then you look at, okay, in 3 years, I'm going to put 45,000 miles on my car. I don't want to buy tires for 3 years. Well, you better buy a 60,000 mile tire. Now, when we talk about the tire life, again, all the maintenance and everything, we want to get as much life out of the tire as we can. You're not going to buy a brand new set of tires and expect that that tire is going to last you exactly 60,000 miles, because that tire, even in its perfect scenario, is going to wear down to the what we call wear bars on the tire, and that is not a safe situation to be in.
tell our viewers what a wear bar is. Not everybody's familiar with that.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I wasn't for a long time either until I really started paying attention to what things are. Wear bars. So when you can go out and look at the tires on your car, and if you look at the face of the tire, and you look at the grooves that are in the tread, you'll see these little nodules or little bumps in between the tread. So you can run your finger down there, and as you run over a little bit of a bump, and those are all the way around the entire tire, those are the wear bars. The tire manufacturers say that once the tread reaches that wear bar and becomes flush with it,
it's time to say hasta la vista.
Yep, it's time to get new tires. Now, oftentimes people like to take them below the wear bars, and then we have racing slicks out there on the road, and then when it rains, we don't do very well.
Or snow.
Or snow, or any kind of inclement weather. But it's not just rain or snow. Blowing dust, blowing sand. Here in New Mexico, we have extreme conditions, and it's not just heat, and it's not just cold, and it's not just rain, and it's not just snow. It could be blowing dust, it could be mud. There are 1,000 different things that come into play with the driving conditions here in New Mexico. We're in a very, very diverse climate, and we're in a very diverse situation when it comes to roads and road hazards or possible road hazards. So that's why tires become extremely important, not only for the ride, but for the safety of ourselves and our occupants inside the car. We want the optimum condition in that vehicle to be able to handle whatever the good Lord throws at us in the form of weather or obstacles,
right,
and make sure that we keep ourselves and our occupants safe.
When we come back, we're going to talk about balance, balancing the tire, keeping them balanced, how to tell when they're out of balance, and also alignment, which I think is really important for people to understand. I see tires in a parking lot at the grocery store, and you can see one side is worn out, or you see that it's very uneven wear on the outside. That's telling me that's balance. The constant wear on the inside is probably alignment. We'll talk a little bit about that, because I think it's important for people to understand that's something they've got to pay attention to going forward. But we'll be back. We're going to pay a few bills here, and Morley and I will talk more about tires, because a lot of people don't know about what they should do for their tires. We'll be right back.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hello again, I'm George Lovato Jr., and this is If Your Car Could Talk with Morley Fletcher, president of Santa Fe Kia. Morley, we're going to talk a little bit here about balance and alignment. Now, I had a friend of mine who, his wife is one of those people that turns the key, drives off, and if it runs, it runs, and when it doesn't, it doesn't. And then that becomes his problem when it doesn't.
Right, call for help, they call it.
AAA. So, she did not know what an alignment was. We were having this conversation a few weeks ago at a party, and she says, someone told me at the tire store that I needed an alignment, and they don't do alignments. And where do I go to get, what is an alignment, and where do I go to get them? So let's talk a little bit about alignment and balance.
Well, the funny thing is that balancing should be able to be handled, by anybody that sells tires. But isn't it strange how you can go buy a set of tires, and that place will sell you tires, but they can't align your vehicle. And when we talk about alignment and tire wear and longevity, they fit hand in hand. Obviously, balancing, and let's touch on that for a minute. We've all gotten in a car at some time or other and felt the steering wheel shake a little bit as we're driving.
Right.
It may not be, crazy. It may just be a little shudder. Normally, when a vehicle's doing that, one of the wheels is out of balance. That wheel, whether it's aluminum alloy or steel or wood, in the days of wagons, the wheels have to be balanced so that they spin true. And the only way that a wheel is going to spin true is if it's balanced, because out of the production, the factory, a wheel is not in balance. There is no way for them to make that wheel specifically balanced by just production, because once you put a tire on it, then it needs to be balanced again. So how do they balance? They put weights on the wheel. So as a wheel is round and a tire is round,
Not all tires are perfect.
and not all wheels are perfect. So the combination of the two will make it so that a weight has to go on that wheel to make it perfect, so that it spins perfectly and spins true. Along with that is an alignment. And when we talk about aligning a vehicle goes up on a rack, is raised up in the air, and then lasers tell us if the alignment of that vehicle, meaning are the front and back wheels perfectly in a line. If they're not, and they're offset a little bit one way or the other, then they're going to wear the tires strangely, because the vehicle is not going to be true driving straight down the road without assistance of holding it
Good point.
true.
Right.
And when we have
It
to
pulls.
exactly, when we have to force assistance to keep it true, then that means we're getting crazy wear on a tire, because we're forcing it to do something that it's not naturally doing on its own. So we bring that back into alignment, getting it in a perfect line, both sides, and then the vehicle will drive straight down the road without assistance of the moving the
Driver
steering wheel.
having to-
And then the tires are going to wear like they're supposed to. If you look at a tire that's not on a wheel and you stand it up so the tire is straight and standing up on its own, and you look at it, it is smooth all the way around. And that's what we want. We want the whole face of that tire on the roadway true to get the right wear on it.
The right wear, right.
Exactly.
When you start talking about tire life and proper balancing, proper alignment, proper rotation, even the proper air pressure, that really is dependent on the type of rubber as well. The cheaper tire, the less expensive tire, isn't going to have that very complex chemistry of that rubber and that mixture to make that tire a certain hardness or softness. And so in New Mexico, we get, like you said, extremes. When you get that inexpensive tire, do those extremes affect the life of that less expensive tire more so than the more expensive
They
one?
do, because of our temperature swings. We have huge temperature swings here, right? So last winter, we had a week in northern New Mexico that we were below zero. We had a whole week. At our ranch, we were -5 for the week. But then the summertime, we had a couple of days we were over 100. So we have these huge temperature swings. And rubber, like any other surface, is going to expand and contract based on the temperature. Air inside of a tire will expand and contract based on the temperature. These are things that are going to affect it. And yes, less expensive tires or cheaper tires are not as hard, meaning the compound. Boy, I sound like Mr. Scientist, and I've never
Mr.
mixed
Goodwrench.
I've never mixed rubber compounds before. But the less expensive tires have a softer compound, softer rubber. The more expensive tires, they get longer lifespan because they're a harder rubber or
Right.
harder compound. So there is definitely a difference in that, which is going to make a difference, especially in this state, as to the life expectancy of the tire.
When we come back, we're going to talk about the big tire store out there that's always advertised, as opposed to coming to your store, and what those differences are, which I don't think there are very many, if any at all. But we'll come back and talk about that. But we're going to pay some bills right now, so we'll be right back after these messages.
Burrito Express is proud to announce that we are the official burrito spot of ProView Networks. Since 1982, with 6 locations serving Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and Roswell, the question is, red or green? Let's go to the burrito. Visit letsgototheburrito.com and order now.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We're back with If Your Car Could Talk with Morley Fletcher. I'm George Lovato Jr. We're going to wrap up here, Morley, and talk a little bit about buying from a large chain of tire stores as opposed to coming in and buying in a one-stop shop environment like your dealership. What are the differences, and how can the consumer benefit from visiting you and buying tires as opposed to the big tire store?
Well, there's a number of things that come into play. First and foremost, our dealership, which is not a whole lot different than many, but we try and make it a little bit different at Santa Fe Kia. We sell all of the brand tires, the major brand tires that any tire shop would sell. We stock tires, most sizes we have in stock, but there are so many different brands out there.
Brands and sizes.
And sizes and mileage configurations. And we didn't even get into run flats and all the crazy available tires there are. But when it comes to standard tires on our vehicles, we carry a wide selection in stock of these tires. And we're a one-stop shop, meaning if you come in and you buy tires from us and you need an alignment, we have an alignment rack. We can do an alignment. We have spin balancing. We have the availability to do anything that anybody else can do, but we have that step forward where we can do alignments as well. And there's a...
and you keep the records. You keep the maintenance records.
We keep all the maintenance records, and we make sure that your warranties are registered with the tire manufacturers and everything that you need. And, you know, it's funny, the last segment you talked about alignments. There's a big box retailer out there that I won't mention the exact name, but you can get large quantities of things at this retailer, and they do tires. They have never done alignments, and I have in the past had contracts with these big box retailers to where they do tires. If someone needs an alignment, then they bring the vehicle over to us so that we can do an alignment for them, and then they can mark that price up.
It seems a little
and
counterintuitive not
it
to
is
have.
very
Yeah.
counterintuitive.
Yeah.
You know, we
Sell a new set of tires and it leaves unaligned, and you're
and now you're counterproductive on what you're trying to
Right.
accomplish with your own
Right.
tires. But then, there's a time factor. Because we can take care of everything at the same time at our dealership with trained technicians that know how all of this stuff works, it saves people time.
It's a different
And
science now.
It is. And the cost factor, what many people think, again, if I go to the dealer, then it's going to cost more. Absolutely not. We get our tires wholesale, just like any tire shop in the country gets. We have the ability to,
And you've got the key of buying power.
and we have the buying power, and we have specials that are run just like everybody else, and we can deal with everything at the same time, and it goes right into the maintenance records of your vehicle.
I'm going to take you back a couple decades, but I had an IROC, okay, Camaro IROC, and it was a Marlboro Pace Car edition. And one of the things that that was very sensitive was that if the tires weren't right, the car didn't handle right. I mean, it was bouncy, the wheel would shake, the ground effects kit wouldn't work properly because it's getting feedback, oscillation from the tires, and I had to true the tires, which is shaving a little bit off the tire because not all tires are exactly perfectly round. But one thing that I was very conscious of was the fact that those rear tires wore out pretty quick, and for obvious reasons, okay? And I didn't rotate as I should have. I got half the life of the tire, and when I took it to the tire store, they said, well, guess what? You didn't get the mileage that you're supposed to get, but we're going to sell you 4 new tires, not 2. Is that something you should do when you get uneven wear like that? Just replace the whole set, start over again?
Well, you think of it like this. If you ever watched a NASCAR race and they come into the pit and they're going to change tires, how many tires do they change?
4.
Why do they do that?
Because of
the wear of the tire.
Right.
And they put brand new tires all around because of the way the tire wears on the track. And those cars, they are scientific in the way that everything is with the vehicle. They're scientific with the tires as well. So why wouldn't we do that on our car if professionals are doing it on theirs? It
Same
just makes
reason.
sense.
Wow. Well, we've talked a whole bunch about tires. We hope we gave you a bunch of new information to help you get the maximum mileage out of your tires and keep your car running good. And remember, the dealer, and this one in particular, Santa Fe Kia, is the perfect stop. So we've talked about tires today. Next week, well, let's talk about something even more interesting, and I'll let you come up with a subject matter between now and then.
Sounds great.
Because it's like having Mr. Goodwrench right next to me here,
Yeah. I gotta go put my tools away.
Thanks for joining us today on If Your Car Could Talk. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hi folks, Morley Fletcher here, owner of Santa Fe Kia. At Santa Fe Kia, we like the byline of Santa Fe Kia is where we treat you different. Some reasons why. I'm remodeling our facility to make it better for our customers. Our salespeople treat people with respect and the way they'd like to come and purchase a vehicle. That's why at Santa Fe Kia, it's where we treat you different.